they was trying to give it a face. And first it came out from a Chinese doctor in China, said something going on with the melanin in the black people, because it was an African that was there, and he got sick but got well like real quick, right? And so the doctors, one doctor, two doctor, put out this documentation, this article about, that the Africans and the black people will not be affected by this. In this lineup, they, it's something dealing with the melanin and so forth and so forth. And I had the article. I think I may have shared it. Okay, so when that came out, so a lot of white folks got offended. Oh, they're like, oh no. Because see, the people who understand that, Father, this is a plague, well, we already been, we have been judged so much, through bringing us on the slave ships, our forefathers, all the things happened to them, it was a part of our judgment. And then now we know that when Father turned his face back on us, they're going to get their judgment. This is a part of their judgment. But they were like, no, we can't have them to think that we being judged. Oh no, we don't want them to think we being judged. We're going to make it seem like they're being judged. Or they are hit. So they were bringing stuff out like, oh, it's the underlying factors. It's, it's diabetes. It's them eat wrong over all these years. Oh, they are, they're the faces. They're getting hit the hardest and so forth and so forth. So then I was like, well, I know what Father, in a sense of lining things of the Bible and understanding that the plagues, and I know that we could get, we can actually, what we would, we could fall in line to be a part of the plagues, because Father says, in the scriptures, in so much, bring, take yourself out from among those who are being plagued, that the plagues won't get on you. You understand? And that means separate yourself. That means to seek his face. That means to get in the right path of him and get under your covering, because it ain't not supposed to be about us. It's about these other people. You understand? Because now it's time for them to start getting judged. So I knew that, but there were still some where when you start hearing about, so what they would do, the news people would do, they would make sure they put like a black person at the first of the one that they would show that got COVID, that died or something. Then they are, you understand? Then they're bringing some other people, and then are either in the newspaper, like, not newspaper, like on the news, they were telling about all the black people dying, this, that. And then Bill Gates and Fauci, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates came forth and said, Africa is going to get hit the hardest, or it's going to be dead babies and dead people all over the place. Well, that's not the case, because the place in Africa get the hardest is South Africa, where a lot of white folks live, European lives. So yeah, in the beginning, when all start coming forth about bringing who was actually affected by this disease, it was people coming into Africa bringing it like from other nations. When you can go on a trip for five months, 5 weeks to different countries. And you're like, well, is that an African or is that someone from another nation? Well, come to find out it's from another nation. So in the beginning, they were telling us exactly who, through these little notes on World Old Media, was telling like different people who were coming. And you could pretty much, you knew who they were. So right now today, South Africa is the hardest hit in Africa. You understand? So to Africa, to like say, 1 million of all the nations together that have actually had coronavirus, you understand? Just like it's over 1 million, not even, I want to say 2 million. you imagine America, 7 million in other places, but they lying, fam. They are straight up lying. There are more people dying and more people being affected by this. They're lying. They just point blank. If you did 100 just back then, if you did 107 million tests, but only 7 million of those people got it, but 100 million still walking around say they didn't have it, but they all been tested. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pits of hell. That came from America alone. We're gonna leave that right there. Okay. So then this article came out about it's in the genes of the Neanderthals that they're the ones getting hit the hardest. They're the ones getting hit the hardest. So I'm going to bring this article up. And so these different scientists, these different people now coming forth from different countries. Because see, their agenda is not about trying to make us look bad. Because see, a lot of us not there in these other countries over there in Europe. The only people trying to make us look bad is the UK, who a lot of our people still there, and also in America. So they ain't got no hidden agenda. You understand? So they coming out telling the truth. So yeah, the Neanderthal, from that gene, the Asians and also the Europeans, they getting hit. And the reason why I'm saying it in this man, because they came out so strong trying to put the picture and make us the face of it. You understand? When I know that this is the timeline of the plagues coming, and Father is what? Coming in. And it's going to get what? Even worse. He would not, have warned me or one of my other Hebrew sisters, and it may have warned others if this wasn't a plague, if this wasn't in so many ways of a issue. But we got to understand what a plague is. A plague is a curse that Father have brought upon. But it just didn't start with this coronavirus. He's been plaguing this earth. He's been every virus, every, flu, all this stuff, family, is a part of a curse. It is a plague. It's an illness. It's a pestilence. And see, the churches never told us that. They never told us that, every time, this, and every year they go out and try to create, once somebody show up with the flu, with that strain, they go out and try to create not a vaccination, but some type of shot, to say give you a flu shot. Is that a vaccination? I don't believe so, because I think it takes a while to make. So that's where that comes from. So what the Chinese person was saying about the Africans, and speaking about ones with the melanated, skin, in the sense of how much melanin you have, what they were saying was that certain things about them, but they looking at it from that scientific part. I'm looking at the part that Africa done had the days of where Father have judged him, and he still, I'm not saying can't judge and still not. But fam, we've been through. And when Father woke us up to let us know we the people, that means that now it's time for their judgment coming. He's about to redeem us, but in that, he's what? So if you go to Genesis 15 and 13, it tells that we will serve these people. I'm talking about the whole world, because we scattered to the four corners. Then we will what? They will afflict us. And then he would what? Judge them. We will see them in judgment. We will see them being judged. And then he will deliver us, and we will leave with great abundance. But you don't see this all over the news. You don't see this all over the news. That this is a line, this is a sign, this is it, speaking that by them, like I say, anything that they look at us and try to put us as the face of everything, or they try to make it seem like it's them, not us. So you have many articles about Neanderthals. DNA may be COVID risk, okay? This one came out on September the 30th, says that the major genetic risk factor for severe COVID-19 is inherited. Okay, and then it goes in to speak of that. So as many articles. So where are these articles? Where did it share it on CNN? Because they even had our people. Oh, we are getting hit the hardest because we were never taught to eat right. We've been eating these wrong foods. So anybody with an underlying factor, oh yeah, you gonna get hit, and it's you all because you see, we had money to eat right. Y'all ain't had no money. We ain't never gave y'all a dime for slavery. So y'all had to eat from the scraps from the tables. And all that what y'all learn to eat is not good. So yeah, you're all getting hit the hardest. But let the truth prevail. See, this is my whole point of the matter. Let the truth prevail. Let it prevail. So you're welcome to go look it up yourself, right? And look through the articles. Because they're scrambling right now. They're scrambling in the sense of that they're like, wait a minute. It's like, right, they just got a light bulb came on and said, oh no, it's us. What's going on? We're getting hit really, really hard. And they link it back up to what? A species that is not that on the continent of Africa. They try to say, well, there's some of the Neanderthal traits on the continent. Who brought that there? The people that are in South Africa? You talking about those people? Let's just keep it real. 100. Let the truth prevail. Get out of your feelings. Who might you be? Let the truth prevail. The plagues are here. And you Hebrew Bantu, if you don't believe it, keep playing with the Most High. Because in the lineup, it's not about you. But if you in that lineup, you're going to get judged too. And not only the plagues of what coronavirus, anything. And like I said, we still here in the midst of our enemies. You need to be crying out for mercy. I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. We need to still be crying out for mercy. Do you not hear what I'm saying? But the plagues are here. The plagues are on this earth. To the four corners of this earth. And you might not want to accept it. You might not want to believe it. You might not want to understand because, oh, well, if that's the case, why he's allowing it to hit us too? Well, because, again, like I said, we're not exempt in the lineup of if we're still in a place. We need to cry out for mercy, get in the right path of the Most High. So you might say, well, Darlene, you going in this manner like saying, oh, well, you don't want to wish this on nobody. What I'm telling you is that we have been a part of what? As Father has judged us over all these many years. It's like saying he judged us and now it's time to judge them. So what are you trying to say back to me? What I'm saying is that no matter what, Father said what he said. He's going to judge these people who have what? Used us, who have taken advantage of us, who have enslaved us. Whether it's the people that is living right now that they did it or not. If you are descendants and you benefit from it, you are part of the white privilege club. Understand, judgment is coming. Your faith, Jesus Christ, is not going to hold you from this judgment that is coming. So you, like I said, over the many years, you seek the Most High. Understand what your fate is. Understand what he has entailed for you from your lineage. And then you cry out for mercy. I've been saying this for almost 3 years. Understand who you are to the Most High, who the Most High is to you, and understand what is your fate according to your lineage. So whether you have slaves now, or not, whether it's in your lineage or not, you benefit from it in that capacity. You are part of the in crowd that they made it to, whereas, white is all right, black is get back. Let me explain. It's going to be a problem. I showed a document probably about 6 months ago about how we're still being taken advantage of. We were just sold from the slave owners to the government, basically, in that light. Where they still benefit. They getting money. They're like you working, you going out to work, and they getting money out of your paycheck. Because you're a slave descendant. How's that? They're not giving us money because we were slave descendants. They're taking money away from us because we were slave descendants. That surfaced about 2 years ago, and Father allowed me to see it within the last 6 months, a document that says this. And I share that on here. So then it goes on to say, and this is 2 days ago. Let me go here where it says here. Let me get there. They want me to do everything, sign over everything to get in that place. So it just lined the things out, fam. Get your house in order. Cry out to the Most High for mercy. Repent, you Bantu Hebrews, and get out of the path of judgment. And those who of these other nations that Father have touched and did so forth and so, you will need to understand what time it is as well. Everybody else who don't give a rat behind about anything, you just want to be about you and always in the sense of, but then understand what's going to happen. So this is from The Guardian here. So it says here, modern humans and the Neanderthals could be forgiven for having their issues on their minds when they interbred in the Stone Age. But according to the researchers, those ancient compilings laid a grim foundation for death around the world today. Scientists have claimed that a strand of DNA that triples the risk of developing severe coronavirus was passed on from the Neanderthals to the modern human. The genetic endowment, a legacy from more than 50,000 years ago, has left about 16. So this is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, because see, before on the little DNA, the Europeans are ones, they only got probably about 4% of Neanderthal, and then the Asians got about 7%. But now these people coming out and saying, that is more than that. You understand? So, like I said, they don't never, when they go dig up stuff about them, very rare, even when they do, they don't tell us. But they can go dig up our people and try to tell everything about who our people is. They live on the continent in Egypt. They dig up all those royal people over there, royal pharaohs and stuff and different things to figure out about them. But when it comes down to them, they don't dig up nothing. When they do dig up anything about them, they always speak of them in the cave, always. But they'll never tell us nothing. So this right here is news that should have hit the world stage. Because they try to what? Put our face at the forefront of everything. Everything that comes that is negative, they want to put our face at the forefront. And what I'm saying, Father changes the table. They talk about themselves now. They talk about themselves to say, oh no, it's this, is that. Well, it's going to get worse. We haven't seen anything yet. So, fam, I did this video earlier on Facebook, so I'm just playing back. But just want to give you a little bit more insight because this video might go out due to storage. Right now, with before they used to say, about 4% of Neanderthal are showing up in the, white the Europeans, and in, a little bit more like 7% in the Asians. But now this actual came forth, and I've shared this link and you can read it. It's saying it's about 16% of the Neanderthal showing up in the Europeans, and half of South Asia today carrying these genes. Half. So, fam, these people still lying. It's more than that. Remember, this is a species that was not in the continent of Africa. How it got there, if any small percentage that it is from them bringing it in there and intermingling with our people, some of our people. But we still know that it's a small percentage at that. You understand? Then, so you have the Neanderthals, and then you have the Denisovans. They are another species that those two is a sister group, they says, and that will give, according to what they're saying, the stray hair, the recessive genes, which we understand, and all what they try to say. Once being in a ice age, got their whole makeup was changed because they didn't get the vitamin D, or they didn't get, as far as the sunlight, they were always in caves. So little by little, fam, truth is coming out. My whole point of the matter is that just trying to understand. We know the plagues are here, and we see it is still affecting our people. We see that. But could these people be lying and saying that it's affecting our people, because more so it's affecting them? Not only that, the overdoses from taking those pills that they got strung out on when they didn't give it to our people. I truly believe it was the Most High doing. Our people would only get a dosage to last them for a week or two, but they gave them in groves, saying, oh, they won't sell it, but our people would sell it. But then they end up getting hooked on all those over-the-counter drugs. Well, prescription drugs. You understand, Oxycontin and all the different things that are out there. So that is another whole story to tell, because it's the plagues. That is considered the plagues as well. Okay. And they're dying, like cities are dying, families are dying. I met a young lady from Ohio, and she said it's like, her family members and people she's known have died. A lot of people have died from that, where she's from. And I thought I was like, wow. So they don't talk about it because it's not our people. But if it was really our people at the face, they would try to put us out there at the forefront, just like they did with COVID when it first came. So it's not like we immune to it, but the plagues are meant for our enemies, according to what I'm seeing and understanding. And what we need to do is stay out of that judgment lineup. We need to pray, cry to the Most High for mercy, repent, and do all the above to stay in the right path. So let me give you some numbers from COVID. I haven't shared this in a while. I used to share it a while back. Right now, the world cases, which they're lying, says only 38 million people who have it, right? The virus, okay? Who had or have the virus, okay? So only 82,000 new cases as of today, and over 1 million death, 1 million and 8,600 thousand death, right? Of it all together. But when you get down to the total tests, like say for example, America, they have done 119 million tests, but only 8 million people out of that 119 tests got the COVID. Family, you got to know that's a lie. You have to have symptoms to take the test. We're not doing no contact tracing in America. You go into a doctor office and say, well, I've been around someone. I think I've been around someone who got it or had it, and they're like, okay, what are your symptoms? Are they just gonna give you a test and you're not gonna pay for it? My understanding, your insurance company still is intact and have to pay for it. Now, America for so long, at least up until a month and a half or so, maybe I'll say 2 months, have been only giving tests to people who had the symptoms. Since then, they try to say, no, we're giving it to whoever and whatever, however, right? Well, just think of from January all the way to 2 months ago, I'll give them that. Say that they were giving the test only to people who had symptoms, but we still was at a low ball. That doesn't add up. It's lies. When I said that Father revealed to me about the plagues, about Joel 2:2, that was coming upon this earth, and the very next day it was revealed across the whole earth that the whole earth found out about coronavirus. And then another sister what was given it back in the mid part of 2019 that a virus was coming. All this, to my understanding and knowing, this is the plagues. And being that he woke us up, that meaning that what all has been done unto us, things that have been done, Father is what? Showing that the plagues are here. And, there was through the fourth plague that happened in Egypt before Father made a distinction. You understand? So plague 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one, I believe, when he made a distinction where it didn't harm our people, and then going forward. So fam, I don't know where all this, if this is going to be similar or whatnot, but all I know is that I know some of our people are getting affected, because I have people that I know that has, not in my immediate family, but in my family, have actually had it. And they say it was horrible. One of someone that I know went to the hospital like 4 times. You understand? For emergency. That's just how bad it was. But we got to understand and know we're not exempt. According to what I'm seeing and understanding, what we need to do is cry to the Most High for mercy and get out of the path. Do what the Most High says, keeping the commandments and, staying in that lineup. So fam, that's all I have. But I just want to give you, some insights about, what's happening, because again, they put us at the face. When that Chinese doctor came out and say, well, blacks are, the Africans, the ones with the dark melanin skin, they're not as, susceptible to it as others. Oh, the white community, the Europeans went like mad, like what? Oh no. And then that's when you started seeing a lot that our faces was at the forefront. You understand? Because I look at it from, this is the plague. The scientists look at it, oh, this is dealing with, our systems and so forth and that. But I see, because these people who on the opposite side in so many ways, who have enslaved us, now are getting back in the sense of understanding. Now they're getting it, that they're getting these plagues. So that's the way I'm seeing it from a biblical aspect. You understand? All right, fam. So that's it for now. And I'll play this out, the rest of what I've had on here. I may say some things I already said before until this go completely out, because it's still on. So I'll keep it up. Hallelujah. So again, you Bantu Hebrew people, you better wake up. You better get in the right path of judgment, not to be judged. Cry out to the Most High and understand and know we're not exempt from this, but we need to cry out for mercy. Revelation 18:4 says, this is what it says. And I heard a voice, another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So what this is saying is that you need to come out. You need, and that coming out is to put your focal point on the Most High and get to know him as you should. Because whatever he got coming for anybody, you don't want to be caught up. So you might say, well, you're saying this like it's nonchalant, like kind of way. Well, I'm saying this because these are what Father has told us, given us to understand. He judged us. That's how we end up on the slave ships. That's how we end up descendants of what? Of the slaves. And he will judge them also. But see, they don't want us to know that they've been judged going way back a long time ago. They've been covering up stuff. They didn't want us to know that they have been judged. Diseases that we ain't never heard of before. A lot of them got. They don't want us to know that. And to see this to come out on world stage, whether it's in the news articles on these websites, is letting you see and know Father is unveiling and revealing exactly what he's doing. So in my position, I'm here to warn his people and those from these other nations that he called out from them, period. Get your house in order. And just know it's going to come to a point even further that they're not going to be able to hide stuff. Because see, they've been able to hide stuff. But the more Father make them weak, like he did us back in the Renaissance timeline, when those ones that were considered peasant moved up to a middle class and then an upper class and then up to a royal status, the same way, fam. It's happening the same exact way. He gonna weaken these people. If it's not by, they don't even talk about the actual the pills that they're taking. With cities is dying out. You understand? From overdose. That's a plague. Whether you want to accept it or not, that is a curse. Getting hooked on, I haven't even talked about it in a while that I don't even remember the name of it. That their people have been dying out, overdosing on these pills. And they started off by not wanting to give it to our people because they said that, we will take it and sell it. But they gave weeks and perhaps months to their people. So, they don't have to come back in and they ain't going to sell it to nobody. But they didn't want to give it. So our people had to check back in like every week or every 2 weeks. Y'all know what pill I'm talking about. It's so far attachment. I haven't talked about it in a while. But the ones that you can is Oxycontin or whatever you can get attached to. Well, family, that's a story that when Trump got into office that he was going to make good on, and that they were going to do this and do that. And I met a young lady where I was at this doctor office, and she moved from Ohio, and she said so many people in her family have died. So many people that are friends of hers have died from overdoses. So get out of your feelings for whoever might be thinking, you happy about it. What I'm saying is my Father is moving the pieces. Because it's time. He put Trump, and don't be shocked if Trump get back in the seat again. He is to dismantle America, and which the world will follow. He's weakening them. Because the shift is going to happen. It will take a divine intervention by the Most High to get this in place, only by him. And he got his plans planned out, methodically planned out, and the pieces are being moved into place. When our people were dying of these different plagues back in the Renaissance period of time, that's why they call it the Black Death. That's why they call it the Black Disease. That's why they call it Dark Ages. You think for one thing or one time that they say, oh my goodness, what could possibly be going on with these black people? A lot of them, they were happy because they wanted to be above them. You understand? So what I'm saying to you all is I'm in the moment of giving honor and praise to my Father for showing me, let me see what he's doing. And unfortunately, everybody ain't going to be happy in it. So get out of your feelings and get in the path of understanding. No matter what nation you are, cry out to the Most High for mercy. Because he's doing it. But I got a big problem when you put my people that look like me at the forefront of everything, which is lies. Lies. So you won't look bad. When you got America at 1.85 and you have the so-called blacks and the so-called Puerto Ricans and ones, they at 2.1 and above. For one woman to have, 2 kids. And America is at 1.85. If the blacks and the Hispanics is where they need to be and above, then where is everybody else at? That means that they're not producing. And it's been this way for years. Europe, all of them, all these places, Asia, they have not been reproducing in years. So you look at the continent of Africa, and they have the youngest generation. The youngest people under 18 is over there. The majority of the people in the world that is under 18 is on the continent. They are the future. Then you got people in Europe before this plague came, such as the coronavirus. You had places closing down their schools because there were no students. There was nobody born. In the hospitals. In some cases, some places. Even in America, in those small little areas, they had to close the maternity ward down because they ain't had enough babies being born. And who lived there? It ain't our people. So all these countries, that actually took upon themselves to try to wean and have only only white people, right? Their countries are dying out. Their countries are dying out. Go look it up. No black people there. Because they ain't want them there. You understand? So it's all working in that manner. See, it ain't about me like, oh, I hate you. I'm glad this is going to happen to you. Da-da-da-da. I'm looking at my Father. My Father is the one that is moving the pieces. As he did it unto our people and showed that it's real, he's doing it unto all these other people and going to show them that it's real. So that is another place where I can say, oh, Father, I see you. I understand. Because you don't understand. For those who don't understand, you imagine this. Can you walk with me for a second? You done slaved for these people for over 65 years now, get paid one dime, still 400 years later, still not one dime. But you good with it. Because you say it ain't my problem. So they never got a leg up. You had over 200 and something years leg up above us. The only thing that got you where you was because it was the color of your skin. It had nothing to do with your intelligence. his people. And that curse is what coming to a place of naught. But the curse is that he going to set on our enemies. Let me get that for you all, because you might not understand that this is all biblical. So get out of your feelings. I'll go in front of any court. You can use the Bible when you want to swear on and say, put one hand on the Bible and say, when you get up in front of what? A judge. So if you can do that, judge, let me open the Bible before you and read in there what it says. Let the truth prevail. So Father says in Jeremiah 30:8, for it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Almighty, that I will break his yoke, meaning our yoke, from around thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve the Almighty and David their king. Speaking of us, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore, fear not thou, O my servant, saith the Almighty, neither be dismayed. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And he said he's going to return us, and we will be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make us afraid. Hallelujah. 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 So then Father goes on to say, to tell Jeremiah, for I am with thee, saith the Almighty, though I make a full end of all the nations, whether I scattered thee. So wherever it's scattered, he's going to make a full end. It's like, as it said, there going to be nations that going to be still what? Outside the kingdom. But Father said, I will make a full end of all the nations whither I scattered thee. Yet will I not make a full end of thee. He's speaking that he will not make a full end of us wherever we scatter. But those nations, that mean power that they had, he's going to make a full end of those people. Of the full end of that in general. Right? Then it says that, but I will correct thee in measure. I will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So letting us know, even that could have, taken place where we were captured, brought over in the slave ships, and all the things that have happened to us, and then still today, certain things still happening to our people. But like I said, cry out for mercy. Get out the hands of what? Judgment. Hallelujah. For thus says the Almighty, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause. No one. To get us in the path of the economic equations as being equal, right? That thou mayest be bound up. Thou has no healing medicine. So, what we are right now as his people, we are broken. On the continent, we are broken. The only one can put us back together is the Most High. And that will come from divine intervention. Hallelujah. And he said, there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up, that thou hast no healing medicine. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. The same wound that he put on us is the wound that he would put on an enemy. So now he's going to put the same wound that he put on us on our enemies. Well, then who is our enemies? Who benefited? Who are part of the system? Who's in the in crowd? Who's in the in club? You white, you here, you black, get back. Who's a part of it? with the chastisement of a cruel one. That's what he did unto us. For the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Okay? So Father's letting us know he did this to us. Only why and reason why it happened is because he did this to us. Ain't because they were brilliant. Ain't because they were so powerful, barbarians. It's because he allowed it. When they first came over to Africa to do trades and to learn about our people and so forth, they didn't come to take over in that moment. It built upon. It was hundreds of years before they came back and actually, did what they did unto Africa, far as colonize them. They had to study. It took them over about 200 or 300 years. But in the same sense, it was the time that the Most High allowed them to do it. It was fitting within the plan that the Most High have had. So he said, therefore, all they, this is what it's saying. Let me go back and say this. So when we crying about why did this happen to us, and we all have ones that march in the streets with Martin Luther King and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. So this is what he said, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of the iniquity. Okay? Because thy sins were increased. This is what Father said. He said, I have done these things unto thee. He had done these things unto us. So that's why these other nations who now coming into this truth and understanding that they're trying to figure out about, it's hitting us harder now because, we got a better understanding. You have to understand that Father have it's lined up. The plagues are coming. Destruction is coming for your people. It's coming. And we were the proof that it is going to happen. Because it happened to us, you've seen us in full effect. You've seen how we have been treated. You've seen how we've been treated. So you're going to begin to see the storyline about Jesus Christ. You're going to be like, well, what Jesus? You better call on the Most High. You better build a relationship with the Most High. You're going to see that Jesus that you've been upholding and you've been doing all this stuff, it ain't nothing, ain't nobody, it's a what? A made up. It's a myth. Your sweet Jesus. You Christians out there who brought that over to our people on the continent, you're going to see all of this going to backfire in your face. You have been serving a fake deity all this time. So Father says, why criest thou for thy afflictions? He's talking to his people. And he's going to say this to you all too, whoever listening, who's in the lineup of this fate. Why criest thou now for the afflictions? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of what? Thy iniquity. Because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. As he said to us, he's going to do unto our enemies as well. Our adversaries as well. Ain't no spirit lurking in the corner. Ain't no spirit at the foot of my bed and around the corner. No, it's the people that walking on this earth that have that spirit within them. They can move their limbs. They can see out of their eyes sockets. They could do all the above. Use a restroom. Eat, sleep, and all the above. That spirit is in them, on them. They're our enemies, according to what the Father says. I didn't make this up. I didn't come up with the rules. Then it goes on to say here, he says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. So everybody who devoured his people will be devoured. And all thine adversaries, every one of them. You see this right here? All they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, and every one of them shall go into what? Captivity. What this means? What does it say? Father says every one of them. Every one of them. And they that spoil thee shall be what? A spoil, who took from us. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So this is what Father says that he's going to do for us. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Almighty, because they have called thee an outcast. Nigger this, wetback that, monkey this. You understand? Monkey that. So we have been called an outcast. Saying, is this Zion? That means the Most High chosen? Whom no man seeketh after? Yeah, we got all the curses, had all, and no one wanted to, but it was more for them to go with the in crowd and ones who, we got power that if you flip on us, we'll flip on you. You understand? So no, we'll stick with you all. Now some of them, you've seen that they seem to get it. That Father been dealing with some. But that's between them and Father. And if you one of them, then I'm not talking to you. But if you're offended about what is happening to your people and what's about to happen to your people, you must go deeper. Because it's coming. It's going to be worse. So it says here, it says, thus said the Almighty, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent, mean his people, and have mercy on his dwelling place. You understand? So Father said he's coming. And this is what we's going to have. Proceeding what? Thanksgiving. And voices of them that make merry. And I will what? Multiply them. That means we're going to have more babies. More kids. And all these other nations are going to dwindle down. You understand? So this is what's going on. That's what's going on. So it's about to go down. But we must understand. Okay, so I'm not sure how much you heard because this went out. But descendants of slaves, get your house in order. Get out of the path of judgment. I can't say what Father will, have for you in your fate of whatever else you or your, generations to come will have to deal with. But according to what he's doing, waking us up for us to know who we are and what he have done unto us is proof to these other nations that whatever he got coming for them, it's going to happen. It's all in the Bible. Your pastors and ones just failed to cover it because they was trying to have an inspirational message, and it wouldn't be inspirational to their congregation if they tell them that your fate is going to be this. It ain't going to be good because y'all took his chosen people. Y'all did this, and y'all were a part of this plan. He made us in a way he did. He separated us by this. This whole thing about you black, you white didn't just come up by because these people were brave. It's because of the way the Most High set it up. It's a way that was a part of our affliction. And now it's going to be a part of their afflictions. Okay, fam. So I'm going to close out. So take heed Blessings, fam.